The morning sun blazes across Fort Braxton like a promise of hope. American flags snap in the autumn breeze, their fabric dancing against crystal blue skies. Sergeant Maya Johnson adjusts her dress uniform one final time. Her reflection stares back from the barracks window with fierce determination. 32 years of life have carved strength into every line of her face. Dark eyes hold the weight of single motherhood and military service. Her hands smooth invisible wrinkles from olive green fabric with practiced precision. Today marks another ceremony honoring fallen heroes. Maya's heart pounds with familiar pride and lingering grief. Ethan bounces on his toes beside her, 7 years old and buzzing with energy. His gap-toothed smile could melt the hardest drill sergeant's heart. "Mama, do I look like a real soldier?" Maya kneels down, straightening his tiny clip-on tie with gentle fingers. "Baby, you look better than any soldier I've ever seen." His giggle fills the cramped quarters they call home. Outside, boots march in perfect formation across sun-baked concrete. The ceremony begins in 30 minutes. Maya grabs Ethan's hand, feeling his small fingers curl around hers. They walk toward the parade ground where hundreds of families gather. Red, white, and blue streamers flutter from every available surface. The base chapel's bells ring out across rolling North Carolina hills. Maya spots her unit assembling near the memorial wall. Sergeant First Class Rodriguez waves them over with calloused hands. "Johnson, you clean up nice for a change." Maya rolls her eyes but smiles at her closest friend's familiar teasing. Rodriguez has watched her back through 2 deployments and countless late nights. His wife Maria fusses over Ethan like he's her own grandson. "Mijo, you're getting so tall," Maria coos in accented English. The crowd settles into metal folding chairs arranged in perfect military rows. Maya finds their assigned seats in the 3rd section. Ethan swings his legs, unable to reach the ground from his chair. General Morrison approaches the podium with measured, commanding steps. His voice booms across the assembled crowd through crackling speakers. "We gather today to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice." Maya's attention drifts as she scans faces in the crowd. New families mix with old-timers who've seen too many memorials. Her eyes land on Claire Hoffman sitting 2 rows ahead. The woman's platinum blonde hair catches sunlight like spun gold. Claire married Corporal Jake Hoffman just 3 months ago. Something about her has always set Maya's teeth on edge. Claire turns slightly, revealing perfectly applied makeup and cold blue eyes. Their gazes meet for a split second across the ceremonial space. Claire's lips curve into what might be considered a smile. Maya feels ice water pour down her spine despite the warm weather. She looks away, focusing on General Morrison's continued remarks. "These heroes died protecting the freedoms we hold sacred." Ethan fidgets beside her, dropping his small toy soldier beneath the table. Maya reaches down to retrieve it, her fingers brushing cold metal. Something crinkles against her palm. A folded piece of paper clings to the underside of their table. Maya's heart hammers as she carefully unfolds the note. Block letters spell out words that freeze her blood solid. "Add shrimp to the kids' meal." The world tilts sideways around Maya's suddenly spinning vision. Ethan has carried an EpiPen since his 3rd birthday. 1 bite of shellfish could kill her baby within minutes. Maya's hands shake as she reads the message again. The paper feels like it's burning her fingertips. Someone wants to hurt her son. Someone wants to murder her child. Maya forces herself to breathe slowly and remain perfectly still. Panic will accomplish nothing except draw unwanted attention. She glances at Ethan, who's completely absorbed in his toy soldier. His innocent face shows no awareness of the danger swirling around him. Maya subtly looks around, trying to identify who might have planted this note. Claire Hoffman sits rigidly upright, her attention seemingly focused on the ceremony. But something in her posture screams artificial performance. Maya watches as Claire's eyes dart toward their table repeatedly. Each glance feels like a predator sizing up vulnerable prey. Maya's military training kicks into overdrive. Assess the threat. Protect the asset. Neutralize the enemy. The asset is Ethan, and Maya will die before letting anyone harm him. She carefully folds the note and slips it into her uniform pocket. Evidence must be preserved for whatever comes next. Maya leans close to Ethan's ear. Baby, Mama needs to switch your snack with mine, okay? Ethan nods without question, trusting his mother's judgment completely. Maya swaps their identical lunch bags with practiced stealth. Relief floods through her as the potential weapon disappears from Ethan's reach. General Morrison's voice continues echoing across the parade ground. We must remain vigilant against threats, both foreign and domestic. The irony cuts through Maya like a serrated blade. Domestic threats apparently include fellow soldiers' wives targeting innocent children. Maya studies Claire's profile with newfound intensity. The woman's smile never wavers, but her eyes remain calculating and cold. Something dark lives behind that perfectly crafted exterior. Maya thinks back over the past few months. Claire appeared seemingly from nowhere, swept Jake off his feet overnight. She asked too many questions about base security and family routines. Maya's suspicious nature, honed by years of military service, started prickling immediately. Now those instincts are screaming at maximum volume. Claire somehow discovered Ethan's deadly allergy. Claire gained access to their seating area before the ceremony. Claire planted evidence of attempted murder beneath their assigned table. The question isn't whether Claire wants to hurt Ethan. The question is why. Maya wraps her arm protectively around her son's thin shoulders. Ethan leans into her warmth, still playing with his plastic soldier. Mama, when I grow up, I want to be brave like you. Maya's heart cracks and mends simultaneously. You already are brave, baby. Braver than you know. The ceremony continues around them, but Maya's world has narrowed to survival mode. She will uncover this plot. She will protect her son. She will make whoever threatens Ethan pay dearly for their mistake. Because Maya Johnson doesn't just serve her country. She serves justice with the fury of a mother's love. And that fury burns hotter than any weapon the military ever gave her. The ceremony ends with applause echoing across the parade ground. Families drift away like autumn leaves, scattered by wind. Maya walks Ethan back to their quarters, her mind racing with possibilities. The note burns in her pocket like radioactive material. Mama, can we get ice cream later? Ethan's innocent question pierces through her dark thoughts. Sure, baby, whatever you want. Maya's voice sounds hollow even to her own ears. She tucks Ethan into bed for his afternoon nap. His breathing settles into the peaceful rhythm of childhood sleep. Maya locks their door and pulls out the threatening note. The block letters stare back at her like accusations. She sits on her narrow military cot, gripping the paper. Anger begins to simmer in her chest like molten steel. The rage builds slowly, deliberately, with military precision. Someone dared to threaten her child on American soil. Someone used her own base, her own sanctuary, against her family. Maya's hands clench into fists as memories flood her consciousness. 3 years ago in Afghanistan, she lost Corporal Tommy Martinez. Tommy stepped on an IED because intel failed to mark the location. Carelessness killed him as surely as enemy fire. Since that day, vigilance became Maya's religion. She double-checks everything, trusts nothing to chance. Her survival code demands constant awareness of threats. That same instinct saved her life in Kandahar province. Enemy fighters had infiltrated their forward operating base. Maya spotted inconsistencies in their local translators' behavior patterns. Her warnings prevented a massacre of sleeping soldiers. Vigilance keeps people alive in a world full of predators. Now someone thinks they can threaten Ethan under her watch. Maya stands and walks to her small mirror. Her reflection shows exhaustion mixed with deadly determination. A knock interrupts her spiraling thoughts. "Johnson, you in there?" Sergeant First Class Daniel Harris's voice carries through the thin door. Maya unlocks it to reveal her closest friend and confidant. Duke Harris stands 6 feet, 4 inches of pure country muscle. His weathered face tells stories of 3 combat deployments. Gray eyes hold the wisdom of someone who's seen too much. "You look like hell warmed over, Johnson." Duke's Alabama drawl makes even insults sound almost friendly. "Thanks for the pep talk, Duke. Real uplifting stuff." Maya steps aside to let him enter their cramped living space. Duke surveys the tiny quarters with familiar disapproval. "This place still looks like a prison cell." "It's home for now. What brings you by?" Duke settles his massive frame onto her only chair. "Saw you looking spooked during the ceremony. Figured I'd check in." Maya hesitates, then pulls out the crumpled note. Duke's expression shifts from casual concern to sharp focus. He reads the message twice before looking up. "Someone's playing a sick joke on you, Maya." "This isn't a joke, Duke. They're targeting my son." Maya's voice drops to a whisper that somehow sounds more threatening. "Look, I get that you're protective, but think logically here." Duke waves the note dismissively like swatting an annoying fly. Who the hell would want to hurt a 7-year-old kid? Maya's glare could freeze blood in desert heat. "I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out." "Maya, you're letting paranoia cloud your judgment. Take a step back." "Don't you dare tell me I'm being paranoid." Maya's voice rises dangerously close to shouting. "Someone knows about Ethan's allergy. Someone planted this note deliberately." Duke studies her face with the intensity of a sniper. Years of friendship taught him to recognize Maya's different emotional states. This isn't maternal anxiety or combat stress talking. This is pure predatory instinct locked onto a genuine threat. "All right, say you're right. Who's your primary suspect?" "Claire Hoffman. Jake's new bride from nowhere." Maya begins pacing the small room like a caged leopard. "She shows up 3 months ago with no background verification." "Maya, the woman passed security clearance. She's not some terrorist." "Then explain how she knows Ethan's medical information." Duke opens his mouth to argue, then closes it thoughtfully. "Medical records are classified information on military bases. Access requires specific authorization and legitimate purpose. Where would she get that kind of intel?" "That's what I intend to find out, with or without help." Maya stops pacing and fixes Duke with unwavering eye contact. "I need someone I trust watching my back on this." Duke sighs deeply, recognizing the futility of arguing with Maya. She saved his life during a Taliban ambush in 2019. He owes her more than friendship can ever repay. "Fine, but we do this smart, not emotional." "I'm always smart, Duke. That's why we're both still breathing." Meanwhile, across the base, Claire Hoffman whispers urgently to her husband. Jake Hoffman looks uncomfortable with whatever she's suggesting. His body language screams reluctance and growing concern. Claire's perfectly manicured fingers grip his forearm possessively. Her voice carries the sharp edge of someone accustomed to getting results. Jake glances around nervously, checking for potential eavesdroppers. Claire follows his gaze with calculating blue eyes. She spots Maya through the window of the commissary. Her expression shifts to something predatory and satisfied. Claire whispers something else that makes Jake's face go pale. He shakes his head repeatedly, backing away from his wife. Claire's smile disappears, replaced by cold fury. She grabs Jake's shirt and pulls him closer. Whatever she says next makes him stop resisting immediately. Jake nods reluctantly, his shoulders sagging in defeat. Claire releases him and smooths her blonde hair with practiced precision. Her smile returns, but it never reaches her ice-cold eyes. Back in Maya's quarters, Duke studies the threatening note again. "We need to figure out how this got under your table." Security cameras cover the entire ceremony area. Maya's tactical mind begins formulating an investigation plan. Rodriguez has friends in the surveillance unit. He could help us. Now you're thinking like a soldier, instead of just a mother. Duke's approval carries the weight of hard-earned military respect. I'm always both, Duke. That's what makes me dangerous. Maya folds the note and locks it in her footlocker. Evidence must be preserved for whatever confrontation lies ahead. Outside their window, storm clouds gather across the North Carolina sky. Lightning flickers in the distance like nature's artillery fire. Maya watches the approaching storm with grim satisfaction. Storms reveal truths that sunshine keeps hidden. And Maya Johnson is about to unleash hell itself. The next morning arrives with deceptive Carolina sunshine streaming through windows. Maya wakes before her alarm, as she has every day since Afghanistan. Ethan sleeps peacefully beside her, in their narrow military bed. His small chest rises and falls with innocent trust in tomorrow. Maya studies his face, memorizing every freckle and eyelash. Someone wants to steal this perfect child from her world. The thought ignites protective fury that burns like rocket fuel. Maya slips out of bed without disturbing Ethan's dreams. She needs coffee and a strategy before facing today's challenges. The base commissary buzzes with morning activity and familiar voices. Maya spots Claire Hoffman selecting fruit near the produce section. This presents the perfect opportunity for reconnaissance and manipulation. Maya approaches with a carefully crafted smile hiding deadly intentions. Morning, Claire. How are you settling into base life? Claire turns with surprise. That seems genuine but feels calculated. Oh, Maya, I'm adjusting beautifully. Thank you for asking. Claire's smile is bright enough to power the entire commissary. Jake speaks so highly of your unit's camaraderie and professionalism. Maya nods, studying Claire's body language for tells and weaknesses. We look after each other here. It's the military way. That must be comforting for someone in your particular situation. Claire's tone remains sweet, but her words carry subtle poison. My situation? Maya's voice drops half an octave, signaling potential danger ahead. Being a single mother in such a demanding career field? Claire selects an apple with deliberate precision, avoiding Maya's gaze. It must be exhausting, managing everything completely on your own. The comment lands like a calculated slap across Maya's face. I manage just fine. Thanks for your concern. Maya's military bearing straightens into parade ground perfection. Of course you do. You're clearly very dedicated to your son. Claire examines the apple as if searching for microscopic flaws. Though I imagine it's challenging without a father figure around. Maya's hands clench involuntarily before she forces them to relax. Ethan has everything he needs. I make sure of that. I'm sure you try your absolute best with limited resources. Claire's sympathetic expression doesn't match her cutting words. Maya recognizes psychological warfare disguised as neighborly conversation. Well, I should let you finish your shopping in peace. Claire moves away with fluid grace, leaving Maya simmering with rage. Every instinct screams that this woman represents genuine danger. Maya completes her grocery shopping with mechanical efficiency. Her mind analyzes Claire's performance for clues and motivations. Back home, Ethan bounces around their small quarters like pinball. Mama, can we go to the playground after breakfast? His gap-toothed grin melts away Maya's lingering anger instantly. Absolutely, baby. Whatever makes you happy. Maya prepares scrambled eggs while watching Ethan color enthusiastically. He works with intense concentration that reminds her of herself. Mama, why do some people look at us funny? Ethan's question hits Maya like unexpected artillery fire. Her spatula freezes halfway to the pan as her heart stops. What do you mean, sweetheart? Maya keeps her voice carefully neutral despite internal panic. At the store, at the playground, even on base sometimes. Ethan continues coloring without looking up from his masterpiece. People stare at us like we're different or something wrong. Maya's chest tightens with familiar pain she hoped he'd never notice. The weight of single motherhood in a military environment crushes daily. Judgmental glances follow them everywhere they venture together. Some people see a broken family instead of love and resilience. Baby, some people don't understand that families come in different shapes. Maya sits beside him, choosing her words with surgical precision. What matters is how much we love each other, right? Ethan nods solemnly, then returns to his important artistic work. I love you more than all the stars, Mama. His innocent declaration threatens to shatter Maya's emotional control completely. I love you more than that, plus the moon and planets. Ethan giggles at their familiar game of escalating affection. Look, I made this for you. He holds up a crayon drawing with obvious pride and excitement. Maya sees herself in green uniform standing beside American flags. The words "My hero" are written in shaky 7-year-old letters. Tears blur Maya's vision as she accepts the precious gift. Ethan, this is the most beautiful thing anyone ever gave me. She pulls him into a fierce hug that conveys years of love. You really think I'm a hero? You're the best hero in the whole wide world, Mama. His absolute faith in her strength becomes Maya's armor against doubt. This child sees her as invincible despite their daily struggles. Maya tapes the drawing to their small refrigerator with ceremonial importance. It joins dozens of other masterpieces documenting their journey together. Each picture tells stories of bedtime adventures and weekend explorations. Their tiny home overflows with love despite its humble dimensions. After breakfast, they walk hand in hand toward the base playground. Other military families gather in the warm morning sunshine. Maya notices the subtle glances and whispered conversations that follow. Being a single mother marks her as different in traditional military culture. Some wives offer genuine friendship and support without reservation. Others maintain polite distance, protecting their own family units. Maya has learned to navigate these social minefields with careful diplomacy. Mama, look how high I can swing. Ethan pumps his legs with determined effort and infectious enthusiasm. Maya pushes him higher, savoring his delighted laughter echoing across base. These moments of pure joy make every sacrifice worthwhile. But anxiety gnaws at her consciousness like persistent background noise. Someone out there wants to destroy this perfect happiness. Someone believes Ethan doesn't deserve to exist in their world. Maya watches other children playing with growing paranoia and suspicion. Every adult becomes a potential threat requiring careful evaluation. Trust feels like luxury she can no longer afford to indulge. The military taught her that enemies hide behind friendly faces. Now that lesson applies to her personal life with deadly stakes. Mama, are you okay? You look scared. Ethan's perceptive question snaps Maya back to present reality. I'm fine, baby. Just thinking about grown-up stuff. Maya forces brightness into her voice for his innocent peace. Don't worry about anything except having fun today, okay? Ethan nods and returns to his playground adventures with renewed energy. Maya maintains her vigilant watch while projecting maternal calm. Inside her chest, a mother's instinct burns like eternal flame. Someone made the fatal mistake of threatening her child. Maya Johnson will make them regret that decision with everything she has. Duke meets Maya at the base security office after midnight. The hallways echo with their careful footsteps across polished linoleum. Corporal Martinez from Surveillance owes Duke a favor from Afghanistan. Martinez waves them into the cramped monitoring room without questions. Dozens of screens flicker with live feeds from across the base. What exactly are we looking for, Sergeant Harris? Martinez adjusts his thick glasses with nervous energy. Anything suspicious around the ceremony area from 3 days ago? Maya settles into a chair facing the wall of monitors. Her trained eyes scan each frame with predatory focus and intensity. Start with the dining hall cameras, 2 hours before ceremony time. Duke points to the central screen, showing the kitchen entrance. The timestamp reads 0800 hours on the morning of the ceremony. Military personnel move through the frame with routine morning efficiency. Maya studies each face, searching for Claire's distinctive blonde hair. There, freeze that frame. Maya points to a figure near the rear kitchen entrance. Claire Hoffman appears in crystal-clear digital resolution. She wears civilian clothes, instead of her usual polished appearance. Dark sunglasses hide her eyes despite the early morning hour. Who's she talking to? Duke leans closer to the monitor, squinting at the grainy image. A kitchen worker in whites emerges from the service door. Maya recognizes him as Private Bobby Chen from Food Services. Chen looks nervous, constantly checking over his shoulder for witnesses. Claire reaches into her purse and pulls out what appears to be cash. She counts bills into Chen's trembling palm with calculated precision. The exchange lasts exactly 47 seconds by the timestamp. Chen nods repeatedly, then disappears back into the kitchen facility. Claire adjusts her sunglasses and walks away with satisfied confidence. Son of a bitch, she actually did it. Duke's Alabama drawl thickens with mounting anger and disbelief. Maya's hands clench into fists as rage builds in her chest. She's not just jealous of me, Duke. She wants Ethan dead. The words taste like poison on Maya's tongue. But why? What could she possibly gain from hurting your boy? Duke's question hangs in the air like smoke from artillery fire. Maya stares at the frozen image of Claire's money exchange. The answer eludes her, but the evidence speaks for itself clearly. Someone paid Chen to contaminate food intended for a 7-year-old child. We need more proof before we can move against her. Maya's tactical mind begins formulating a dangerous counteroffensive plan. What do you have in mind? Duke recognizes the predatory gleam in Maya's dark eyes. We set a trap. Force her to reveal herself completely. Maya turns away from the monitors with deadly determination. I'm organizing a unit family picnic for this weekend. Maya, you're talking about using Ethan as bait. Duke's voice carries the weight of moral concern and tactical caution. She'll make her move when she thinks I'm not watching. Maya stands and begins pacing the small surveillance room. This time, we'll be ready with cameras and witnesses everywhere. Duke shakes his head but recognizes the futility of arguing further. Maya Johnson in protective mode becomes an unstoppable force of nature. 3 days later, the base recreation area buzzes with family activity. Red checkered tablecloths cover picnic tables arranged in perfect rows. Children run between the tables while parents chat and laugh. The scene looks like Norman Rockwell painting of American military life. Maya sets up their table with methodical precision and hidden purpose. Duke positions himself at a nearby grill with clear sightlines. Rodriguez and Maria help distribute food with careful observation skills. Everyone knows their role in Maya's carefully orchestrated operation. Ethan runs with other children, oblivious to the danger surrounding him. His laughter carries across the recreation area like pure music. Maya forces herself to smile and act naturally despite internal tension. Claire arrives fashionably late, with Jake trailing behind her reluctantly. She wears a flowing summer dress that screams expensive taste. Her smile is bright enough to blind unwary observers completely. Maya, what a wonderful idea bringing everyone together like this. Claire approaches with arms outstretched for an unwanted embrace. Maya endures the contact while studying Claire's body language carefully. Family time is precious, especially in our line of work. Absolutely. Children grow up so fast in military families. Claire's eyes scan the crowd until they locate Ethan playing. Something predatory flickers across her perfectly composed features. Let me help you serve the children their lunch plates. Claire moves toward the food table with practiced casual grace. Maya follows closely, maintaining surveillance without appearing obvious. Claire loads a plate with hamburger, chips, and colorful side dishes. Her movements seem normal, until Maya notices the subtle substitution. Claire swaps Ethan's regular chips for ones from a different container. Maya's heart hammers as she recognizes the seafood seasoning sprinkled on top. "Ethan, honey, come get your lunch," Claire calls out with false maternal warmth in her voice. Ethan bounds over with innocent trust and excitement for food. Maya intercepts the plate with lightning-fast reflexes. "Actually, baby, let me fix you a fresh plate instead." Maya snatches the contaminated food away from her son's reach. Claire's mask slips for exactly one heartbeat of pure disappointment. "Oh, is something wrong with that plate?" Claire swoops in with feigned concern and motherly worry. "I just want to make sure he gets the freshest food." Maya dumps the tainted chips into a nearby trash container. But not before Duke captures photographic evidence of the seasoning. Claire's eyes flicker with what might be satisfaction despite her performance. She believes her poison nearly reached its intended target successfully. "You're such a protective mother, Maya. Ethan is so lucky." Claire's compliment drips with honeyed venom and hidden meaning. Maya serves Ethan a clean plate while maintaining eye contact. "I'd do anything to protect my son from harm." The message carries implications that only Claire would fully understand. Claire's smile never wavers, but her eyes turn arctic cold. "Of course you would. That's what good mothers do." The picnic continues with forced normalcy masking deadly undercurrents. Children play while adults engage in careful psychological warfare. Maya and Duke exchange meaningful glances across the crowded area. The trap worked perfectly, revealing Claire's murderous intentions completely. Evidence gathered, witnesses positioned, the endgame approaches rapidly. Maya Johnson prepares for the final battle to protect her child. This war started with a threatening note under a table. It will end with justice delivered in front of their entire unit. Evening shadows stretch across the base as Maya and Duke walk together. The weight of evidence sits heavy between them like unspoken artillery. Duke lights his cigarette with practiced military efficiency and long habit. "You know what pisses me off most about this whole situation?" Maya glances at her friend's weathered profile in the fading light. "The fact that she thinks I'm weak because I'm alone." Maya kicks a loose stone across the empty parade ground. "Being a single mother makes me a target in her eyes." Duke exhales, smoke into the Carolina twilight with thoughtful consideration. "Maya, you've carried more weight than most men in this unit." His Alabama drawl carries the authority of someone who's witnessed her strength. "You deployed twice while raising that boy completely on your own." Maya feels tears threaten, but forces them back with military discipline. "Sometimes I wonder if they're right about me not belonging here." "Who's they?" Duke's voice sharpens with protective anger and genuine concern. "The wives who whisper at commissary gatherings about broken families." Maya's words taste bitter, as old coffee left too long. "The officers who question my readiness because I have daycare pickup." Duke stops walking and turns to face her with serious intensity. "Listen to me, Johnson. You've proven yourself 100 times over." His gray eyes hold conviction earned through shared combat experiences. "You saved my ass in Kandahar when that mortar round landed close." Maya remembers the chaos of that firefight with crystal clarity. "You carried Sergeant Thompson 2 miles after he caught shrapnel." Duke's voice rises with passionate conviction and undeniable truth. "Don't let some jealous psychopath make you forget who you are." Maya straightens her shoulders as military pride replaces self-doubt temporarily. "You're right. I've earned my place in this uniform honestly." "Damn right you have. And you'll win this fight too." Duke flicks his cigarette away with decisive finality and growing determination. They walk back toward the family housing complex in comfortable silence. Maya's quarters glow with warm lamplight against the approaching darkness. Through their window, Ethan sits at his small table coloring. His tongue sticks out in concentration as he works carefully. "That boy worships the ground you walk on, Maya." Duke's observation carries the weight of witnessed love and devotion. He sees strength where others see struggle and supposed weakness. Maya unlocks their door to find Ethan, surrounded by art supplies. "Mama, I made another picture for your collection." He holds up a drawing of 3 figures in military uniforms. "That's you, me, and Uncle Duke fighting the bad people." Ethan points to each crayon figure with obvious pride and excitement. Maya kneels beside him, studying his innocent interpretation of their situation. "How did you know we were fighting bad people, sweetheart?" "I heard you and Uncle Duke whispering about catching someone." Ethan's matter-of-fact tone suggests he finds nothing unusual about this. "Can I help catch the bad guys too?" His gap-toothed grin melts Maya's heart despite the dangerous circumstances. Duke chuckles from the doorway at the boy's fearless enthusiasm. "Your job is staying safe while we handle the grown-up stuff." Maya ruffles Ethan's hair with gentle affection and protective instinct. "But if you see anything scary, you tell me immediately, okay?" Ethan nods solemnly, understanding the importance of this instruction completely. After Duke leaves and Ethan falls asleep, Maya lies awake, remembering. Every slight, every dismissive comment, every questioning look replays endlessly. The sergeant who suggested she wasn't deployment ready because of Ethan. The colonel's wife, who asked if Maya really belonged in combat. The quartermaster who always double-checked her requisition forms unnecessarily. Being a black woman in uniform meant proving herself constantly. Being a single mother added another layer of scrutiny and doubt. Some days the weight of both identities felt crushing and impossible. But tonight, anger burns away self-doubt like rocket fuel ignites. Claire made the fatal mistake of targeting her child specifically. That crossed a line Maya will defend with everything she possesses. Her phone buzzes with a text from Rodriguez about tomorrow's plan. Everything is set for the final confrontation with their collected evidence. Maya types back confirmation while her resolve hardens into steel. Across base, Claire Hoffman paces her quarters with growing impatience. Her perfectly manicured nails tap against her phone screen rhythmically. She dials a number and waits for someone to answer. "It's me. We need to accelerate the timeline significantly." Claire's voice carries the cold calculation of a practiced predator. The mother is getting suspicious and asking too many questions. Whoever she's talking to responds with apparent concern or hesitation. "I don't care about your reservations. This needs to happen now." Claire's tone sharpens with barely controlled fury and mounting desperation. "The kid won't be a problem much longer, I promise you." She ends the call and stares at her reflection in the mirror. Her mask of perfection can't hide the darkness lurking beneath completely. Claire opens her jewelry box and retrieves a small glass vial. Clear liquid sloshes inside with deadly, innocent-looking transparency. She holds it up to the light, studying the contents carefully. Tomorrow will be Ethan Johnson's last day breathing American air. Claire's smile returns as she imagines Maya's devastation and complete destruction. Single mothers don't belong in her vision of military perfection. Mixed-race children have no place in her twisted worldview either. She replaces the vial with ceremonial care and deadly intention. Back in her quarters, Maya finally drifts into restless sleep. Her dreams are filled with combat scenarios and protective instincts. In every nightmare, she's fighting to save Ethan's innocent life. But her subconscious knows something her waking mind hasn't accepted yet. Tomorrow will bring the final battle for her son's survival. The clock on Maya's nightstand ticks toward dawn relentlessly. Each second brings them closer to a confrontation, years in the making. Justice and revenge will meet on the parade ground at sunrise. Maya Johnson will not let her child become another casualty of hate. The assembly hall fills with soldiers responding to the unexpected morning formation. Combat boots thunder across polished floors as units take their assigned positions. Colonel Morrison stands at the podium with grim authority and commanding presence. Maya enters with Duke, her dress uniform pristine and her evidence secured. Every ribbon and medal gleams under harsh fluorescent lighting overhead. Rodriguez carries the laptop containing surveillance footage and recorded conversations. Maya's heart hammers against her ribs like artillery fire in distance. Today, she will expose Claire Hoffman in front of their entire unit. Ethan sits safely with Maria Rodriguez in the family viewing section. His innocent eyes scan the crowd, unaware of the drama unfolding. Colonel Morrison begins with standard military protocol and routine announcements. Maya catches Duke's eye and receives his encouraging nod of support. The moment for justice has arrived after days of careful preparation. Sir, I request permission to address the assembly on urgent business. Maya's voice cuts through the colonel's speech with steel-edged determination. Every head in the hall turns toward her unexpected interruption. Colonel Morrison pauses, recognizing the gravity in Maya's military bearing. Sergeant Johnson, this is highly irregular for a scheduled formation. Sir, this concerns the safety of military families on this base. Maya's words carry the weight of absolute conviction and undeniable urgency. The colonel studies her face, reading years of faithful service. You have 5 minutes, Sergeant. Make them count. Maya marches to the front with precision that commands immediate attention. Her boots echo across the silent hall like gunshots in mourning. Every soldier in the assembly focuses on her with professional curiosity. 3 days ago, someone tried to murder my 7-year-old son. Maya's opening statement hits the crowd like incoming mortar fire. Shocked murmurs ripple through the assembled ranks like disturbed water. Maya raises her hand, demanding the silence that military discipline provides. They used his deadly food allergy as a weapon of assassination. She pulls out the original note and holds it high. The paper trembles slightly in her steady, battle-tested hands. This note was placed under my table during the memorial ceremony. Maya's voice carries across the hall with courtroom precision and authority. Someone paid kitchen staff to contaminate my child's food with shrimp. The crowd's murmur grows louder as the implications sink in completely. Rodriguez connects the laptop to the projection system with practiced efficiency. The main screen flickers to life, showing surveillance footage from security. Here is Private Chen, accepting payment for his participation in murder. Maya points to the screen, showing Claire's money exchange clearly. Claire Hoffman sits frozen in the family section, her face pale. Her perfectly applied makeup cannot hide the fear creeping into her. The perpetrator believed single mothers don't belong in military service. Maya's words slice through the hall like a sword through silk. She targeted my son because she wanted to destroy our family. The footage shows Claire approaching Chen with calculated criminal intent. Money changes hands in crystal-clear digital resolution for everyone. Claire suddenly stands up, her voice shrill with desperate denials. This is ridiculous. I would never hurt a child or anyone. Her performance lacks conviction as evidence mounts against her steadily. You're obviously having some kind of breakdown, Sergeant Johnson. Claire's attempt at manipulation falls flat before an audience of soldiers. Maya advances toward Claire with the measured pace of approaching justice. Explain this recording then, Mrs. Hoffman. Rodriguez plays the audio from Claire's phone call last night. Claire's voice fills the hall with chilling clarity and undeniable guilt. The kid won't be a problem much longer, I promise you. The words hang in the air like smoke from discharged weapons. Claire's face crumbles as her own voice condemns her completely. She looks around desperately for support that will never materialize now. Jake Hoffman stares at his wife with horror and complete disbelief. His face reflects the agony of discovering he married a monster. You tried to kill my son in my house among my brothers. Maya's voice booms across the assembly with righteous fury and conviction. You violated every code of honor this uniform represents today. The hall erupts in outrage as soldiers process the betrayal fully. Angry voices rise from every section of the assembled military formation. These warriors protect children. They don't murder them for prejudice. Colonel Morrison signals for military police stationed at every entrance. 2 MPs approach Claire, with handcuffs gleaming under fluorescent lights. Claire tries to run but stumbles in her high heels. The MPs catch her easily, restraining her with professional efficiency. This is a mistake. You're all making a terrible mistake here. Claire's protests echo hollowly as handcuffs click into final position. Jake Hoffman collapses into his chair, his head buried in hands. Shame radiates from his slumped shoulders like heat from desert sand. His military career may not survive his wife's criminal conspiracy. The MPs drag Claire toward the exit as she continues screaming. I was protecting this base from people who don't belong here. Her racist motivation becomes clear to everyone in earshot now. Maya watches her enemy's downfall with grim satisfaction and complete vindication. Justice moves with the precision of military clockwork when properly executed. Colonel Morrison retakes the podium as order slowly returns to Hall. Sergeant Johnson, your vigilance protected not just your family but ours. His words carry the weight of command approval and earned respect. The assembly breaks into spontaneous applause that shakes the building. Maya stands at attention, accepting the recognition she's always deserved. Duke gives her a subtle thumbs up from his position nearby. Rodriguez beams with pride at his friend's courage and tactical success. Ethan runs to his mother, with arms outstretched wide for embrace. Mama, did we catch the bad guy? His innocent question brings tears to Maya's hardened eyes instantly. Yes, baby. The bad person can't hurt anyone anymore. Maya lifts him easily, feeling the weight of victory and protection. Around them, fellow soldiers nod with newfound respect and genuine admiration. Maya Johnson proved that single mothers belong in uniform with distinction. She defended her family with the same courage she shows in. This mother, soldier, and avenger rises triumphant before her military brothers. The hall slowly empties, but Maya's reputation will grow forever here. She protected what matters most with unwavering strength and military precision. Justice served with a mother's fury burns brighter than any medal. 2 weeks later, the court-martial proceedings begin with military precision. The base courthouse fills with officers, witnesses, and curious spectators. Claire Hoffman sits at the defendant's table in orange prison jumpsuit. Her perfectly styled hair now hangs limp and unwashed around her. The arrogance that once defined her has crumbled into desperate fear. Judge Advocate Colonel Williams presides with stern authority over military justice. Maya takes the witness stand wearing her dress uniform with pride. Every medal and ribbon gleams under the courthouse's harsh lighting. Her testimony delivers the facts with surgical precision and unwavering confidence. The evidence overwhelms any attempt at defense or reasonable doubt. Security footage plays on screens throughout the packed courtroom repeatedly. Claire's voice echoes from speakers, condemning herself with recorded threats. Private Chen testifies about accepting money to contaminate a child's food. His shame radiates across the room as he describes his participation. The defense attorney struggles to find any mitigating circumstances or excuses. Claire's racist motivations make her actions even more heinous and inexcusable. The military takes attempted murder of dependents extremely seriously, always. Endangering children violates every code of honor soldiers swear to. Colonel Williams deliberates for exactly 37 minutes before returning with verdict. The defendant is found guilty on all charges of attempted murder. Claire's face crumbles as the weight of justice falls upon her. Conspiracy to commit murder, endangering military dependents, and conduct unbecoming. Each charge carries years of imprisonment in military correctional facilities. The court sentences the defendant to 25 years, confinement at Hard. Claire collapses into her chair as her lawyer catches her falling. Military police approach to escort her to the transport vehicle waiting. Jake Hoffman watches from the gallery with hollow, broken eyes. His military career ended with a dishonorable discharge for failure to. The ripple effects of Claire's hatred destroyed multiple lives completely and permanently. Maya feels satisfaction mixed with exhaustion as justice concludes its work. That evening, Maya sits in their quarters watching Ethan sleep peacefully. His small chest rises and falls with innocent trust in tomorrow. The nightlight casts gentle shadows across his beloved face and features. Maya's hands still tremble slightly from residual stress and lingering adrenaline. Victory tastes bittersweet when it comes at such a terrible cost. Fear continues to gnaw at her consciousness, like persistent background noise. What if I wasn't fast enough to save him? The question haunts her despite the successful outcome of their ordeal. What if Claire had succeeded in her murderous plan somehow? Maya's imagination conjures scenarios too horrible to contemplate or voice. A soft knock interrupts her spiraling thoughts and growing anxiety. Duke enters quietly, carrying 2 cups of steaming black coffee. Figured you might need some company after today's court proceedings. Maya accepts the coffee gratefully, wrapping her hands around its warmth. She got what she deserved. Maya. Justice was served today. Duke settles into the small chair beside Ethan's tiny bed. I keep thinking about all the ways things could have gone. Maya's voice barely rises above a whisper in the darkened room. What if I hadn't found that note under the table? But you did find it. Your instincts saved his life. Duke's Alabama drawl carries the conviction of someone who witnessed everything. What if I hadn't been suspicious enough of her behavior? Maya continues torturing herself with hypothetical disasters and alternate outcomes. Maya, you stood your ground when it mattered most of all. Duke leans forward, fixing her with his steady gray eyes. You protected your son with the same courage you show in. You saved him. That's what matters in the end, nothing else. Maya feels some of the tension leave her shoulders gradually. The coffee warms her from the inside, while Duke's presence calms. The cost of vigilance is heavy sometimes, isn't it? Maya's observation carries the weight of hard-earned military wisdom and experience. Freedom isn't free, and neither is keeping our families safe here. Duke nods with understanding born from years of shared service. They sit in comfortable silence, 2 warriors processing their victory. Ethan stirs in his sleep, mumbling something about toy soldiers. His innocent dreams remain untroubled by the darkness that threatened him. Maya reaches over to smooth his hair with gentle maternal fingers. This perfect child represents everything worth fighting for in their world. Suddenly, Ethan's eyes flutter open with sleepy confusion and childish concern. Mama, are you going to get arrested for yelling so loud? His innocent question breaks the tension like sunshine through storm clouds. Maya and Duke exchange glances before erupting in relieved laughter together. No, baby. Sometimes grown-ups have to yell to protect people. Maya kisses his forehead while still giggling at his innocent logic. Did I do good helping catch the bad guy? Ethan sits up in bed, suddenly wide awake and proud. You did perfect, sweetheart, my brave little soldier. Maya pulls him into her lap for a fierce hug. Duke watches the reunion with a smile warming his weathered features. This is why they serve, why they sacrifice, why they fight. To protect innocent children who dream of toy soldiers and heroes. Can Uncle Duke tell me a bedtime story about catching bad? Ethan looks hopefully at Duke with gap-toothed anticipation and excitement. How about a story where the good guys always win? Duke's voice takes on the cadence of practiced storytelling magic. Maya settles back to listen as Duke spins tales of courage. Relief washes through her like warm Carolina sunshine after storms. The immediate danger has passed, but scars will remain for years. Trust comes harder now. Vigilance requires constant energy and attention. But they survived this trial stronger and more united than before. Maya Johnson proved that single mothers belong in uniform with honor. She defended her family with a warrior's heart and mother's fury. The military brotherhood accepted her completely after witnessing her courage today. Some victories cost more than others, but this one was worth. Ethan's laughter fills their small quarters with pure, innocent joy. That sound makes every sacrifice worthwhile in Maya's battle-tested heart. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, but tonight they rest in peace. Justice served, family protected, brotherhood earned through fire and determination together. 3 months after Claire's conviction, Maya walks with purpose across base. The autumn morning carries the crisp promise of new beginnings ahead. Ethan skips beside her, his hand warm and trusting in hers. Today marks the anniversary of Tommy Martinez's death in Afghanistan. Maya always visits his memorial on this sacred day of remembrance. The memorial wall stands proud against Carolina's brilliant blue sky. Black granite reflects the faces of those who come to remember. Names of fallen heroes shine in golden letters across polished stone. Each inscription represents a life given for freedom and honor. Maya approaches Tommy's section with reverent steps and quiet respect. Staff Sergeant Thomas Martinez, age 24, killed in action 2022. His name gleams eternal in the morning sunlight above them. Maya traces the letters with gentle fingers, remembering his laughter. Tommy died because someone failed to maintain proper vigilance overseas. That lesson shaped Maya into the fierce protector she became. Ethan stands quietly beside her, sensing the solemnity of this moment. His small face shows growing understanding of sacrifice and service. "Mama, who was Tommy to you?" Ethan's innocent question breaks the reverent silence between them gently. "He was my brother in arms, baby. My family." Maya's voice carries the weight of shared combat and eternal bonds. "He died protecting other soldiers just like us here today." Ethan nods with 7-year-old wisdom beyond his tender years. "Is that why you protected me from the bad lady?" His question connects their recent ordeal to this sacred place. "Yes, sweetheart. Tommy taught me to watch for danger always." Maya kneels beside him, meeting his earnest gaze with love. Soldiers protect each other and the people they love most. The lesson carries forward through generations of military service and sacrifice. "Will they know you're a hero too, Mom?" Ethan's question hits Maya's heart like a perfectly aimed shot. Tears blur her vision as she struggles to find words. His innocent faith in her strength humbles her warrior's soul. Maya smiles through tears that refuse to be contained any longer. "Being your mom is all the honor I'll ever need, baby." Her voice cracks with emotion as she pulls him close. "You make me brave enough to fight any battle necessary." Ethan wraps his small arms around her neck with fierce love. Around them, other military families gather for morning remembrance ceremonies. Children play quietly, while parents read names with whispered prayers. The cycle of military life continues with its beauty and sorrow. An elderly veteran places flowers beneath a comrade's name nearby. His weathered hands shake as he salutes the memorial wall. A young widow brings her toddler to touch Daddy's inscription. These rituals connect the living with those who paid ultimate prices. Maya stands slowly, lifting Ethan into her protective arms easily. Together they face the wall of heroes with shared understanding. The American flag snaps proudly in the morning breeze above. Red, white, and blue fabric dances against endless Carolina sky. This symbol represents everything Maya fought to protect and preserve. Freedom comes at prices paid by warriors remembered here today. "Mama, will you always be strong like this?" Ethan's question reveals his deep need for security and protection. "As long as you need me, I'll be strong, sweetheart." Maya's promise carries the weight of maternal love and determination. But remember, real strength comes from protecting others too. She begins teaching him the values that will guide him. Loyalty to family and friends makes us truly powerful people. Her words echo lessons learned through fire and trial recently. Love gives us courage to face any enemy or danger. Maya continues the education that will shape his character forever. And vigilance keeps everyone we care about safe from harm. These three principles sustained her through Claire's murderous hatred successfully. The morning sun climbs higher, warming the memorial garden beautifully. Other visitors begin arriving for the scheduled remembrance ceremony today. Maya and Ethan remain connected to something larger than themselves. "I want to protect people like you do, Mama." Ethan's declaration fills Maya with pride and protective concern simultaneously. "You can serve others in many different ways, baby." Maya encourages his noble instincts while hoping he never faces. "But always remember what we learned from this experience together." She gestures toward the memorial with its eternal lessons carved. A bugle begins playing taps from somewhere across the base. The haunting melody drifts over the memorial like a benediction. Military personnel throughout the area stop and stand at attention. Maya and Ethan join this moment of synchronized respect and honor. As the final note fades into silence, normal activity resumes. Maya takes one last look at Tommy Martinez's shining name. "Thank you for teaching me to watch for danger, brother." Her whispered words carry gratitude across time and space to him. "Rest easy knowing your lesson saved an innocent child's life." The debt of vigilance passes from one generation to another. They begin walking away from the memorial toward their future. Behind them, eternal flames flicker beside the wall of heroes. These lights burn as reminders that sacrifice illuminates freedom's path. Maya's voice carries across the memorial garden with quiet strength. In the army, betrayal cuts deeper than any enemy blade. Her words hold hard-earned wisdom from surviving Claire's murderous plot. Hatred can poison hearts and turn neighbors into deadly enemies. The lesson applies beyond military service to all human relationships. But loyalty, love, and vigilance remain our most powerful weapons. These virtues sustained her through the darkest moments of trial. They light the way forward when evil threatens innocent lives. Maya's legacy will inspire others to recognize and fight hatred. Justice may come slowly, but it arrives with military precision. Her story proves that mothers possess warrior hearts when necessary. As they reach the memorial's edge, Maya stops for reflection. The flag continues waving overhead, a beacon of enduring hope. "Some battles are fought on foreign battlefields far away, Ethan." Maya begins her final lesson as they prepare to leave. "Others happen right here at home, protecting what matters most." She gestures toward their base, their community, their family. Both require the same courage, the same dedication to others. Her voice carries the authority of someone who fought both. "Remember this place and these heroes whenever you feel afraid." Maya points back toward the wall of names gleaming there. Their sacrifice reminds us that freedom requires eternal vigilance always. The final lesson echoes across generations of American military service. Hand in hand, mother and son disappear into the morning. But their story of courage will inspire countless others ahead. Maya Johnson proved that love conquers hate with unwavering determination. Her vigilance protected not just Ethan, but the values The memorial stands eternal, honoring all who serve with distinction.